Morning guys, John here, Mr. Forex Fire. So we're going to do a few little videos in the beginners area on things like the market structure. So I'm going to make this a beginner's guide. Now, for a beginner's guide, this is just going to be very, very sort of drilled down and make it as simplified as I can without going into too much detail or without sort of putting too much in front of you within visualization and the charts, if that makes sense. So I'm going to use, for the beginners aspect, we are going to keep it simple by just using a simple whiteboard. We don't need to use the charts to explain this. I can just do it with the visualization of looking at a whiteboard, and we will break down today what break of structure is. Okay, once you watch this video, watch it back a couple of times, take a couple of notes, and then when you're ready, okay, and you watch the other few bits of videos that I'm going to be doing upon a whiteboard, you can then move into the intermediate section and look at the videos on a more visual and a more detailed breakdown on the intermediate areas. Okay, so for now we're going to go and put the whiteboard on. It's been a while since I've done any of this sort of stuff, so we'll just make that whiteboard, get my handsome face a bit bigger. Okay, and again, if anybody is struggling or doesn't understand anything, okay, you can either reach out to the support channel. The support channel for this sort of stuff is going to be inside of the beginners area. Okay, so anything related to this, drop your comment in the beginners chat area. Okay, or you can tag at moderator. Okay, you can tag at moderator if you have a question, or you can tag my name in there, or if you want that basic sort of one-to-one help, you can just simply private message me and ask me any question you want. What I will say with that is, please remember there is another 400 odd members inside of here. I do genuinely get back to anybody that wants to know anything, okay? And I will answer that the best I can. If I don't have the answer, I'll certainly go and get it for you, okay? So with that in mind, let's take a look. So we'll just make sure we've got that on there. Yeah, right. So we've got there, right. So break of structure. We're going to be talking about break of structure today, okay? Break of structure, just bear with us, right? So what is it? Break of structure is basically when we have a movement of price, okay, and when we sort of surpass a different area. So if you can imagine building blocks being put on top of, like Lego, on top of each other, okay, and it reaches to a certain height, okay, and then you build another stack next to that Lego block. So your tower's up here on your Lego block, okay. You start stacking, when you were a kid, you would start stacking another area of Lego blocks, okay? Once you start stacking that other area of Lego blocks and it surpasses the previous area and it goes on and continues, this is what we would call a break of structure. That is the best way I can explain it with words. However, going on the drawn aspect, price will always move in cycles, okay? So price will always move up and down, and then a little bit of sideways for consolidation. So what I'm getting at here is, let's take a look, draw. So price will move up and it moves down, okay? This is a starting point. This will be called a high, okay? Because this is the highest peak that we have stacked those Lego blocks, okay? This here becomes what we would call a lower low, simply because the starting point is the lowest area that price started at from when we were looking at this, okay? So generally, if we get a pullback and then price and the buyers start to come back into control, price will start moving back up, okay? Now, break of structure is basically the first impulse drive, which would be this here at its highest point. Break of structure is not confirmed or does not occur until this pullback area of the lower low comes up and surpasses this area, okay? So this has to surpass this. Once this does this, okay, once this does this, we have now created, if this is a lower low from here, okay, this is the highest point. What do you think that this would then become if it's beat or it's broke the structure of the high? What would this area be called? If you've said a high, you were spot on, okay? So again, price will continue to come up, and then when price starts to get exhausted, this is when you start getting a pullback, okay? Now, the pullback can generally come into a range within the previous pullback. Sometimes it's around about 50%, okay? But this will be for further down the line. Then we start getting another pullback up, okay? This then creates another lower, okay? Not lower, higher low, sorry. I do apologize. I must get this right. So this then becomes a higher low because we've got a higher low because this is the pullback from this low. Then we pulled up, we've got the break of structure. We've created the higher high point because it's superseded this high, okay? Now, as we come down and pull back, and then we bounce, and then price starts retracing back up over, we've created a new higher low area from here. And then price will continue to go up. And again, break of structure will not occur until we hit above this area, okay? It's not until we hit above that area that it does not become a break of structure, okay? So with that in mind, if price was to come up, bounce off this, and then come down, this in layman's terms will be called a double tap, okay? From there, you may get something like this happen. It's nothing to worry about. Price may then come up and then continue up, okay? Because it's still within this range and this range, because sometimes price will just meander between this pullback area, okay? It's not until you get a pull down through this area or a pull up through this area, you would then get a break of structure. It comes up, and again, continuing the trend, this then becomes a confirmed higher high. Okay, now on the downturn, we may get a bit of price moving sideways, like I say, getting the double tops, and it fails to break above this area. Okay, sometimes you might get a double or a treble top. What that means is that just price is getting exhausted. Okay, so then you are referring your eyes visually to this area here. Okay, which is the previous structure point. Okay, so then you've got a higher high and a higher low. Price may come down back into the range. Okay, however, it's still working within the higher range. And then generally it could bounce off this higher high point, come down. Once you come down and you come through this point, look to the left. This has now been a break of structure, okay? And then same as the higher highs and the higher lows, price may continue down, okay? What this then means is we've got a lower high, because as prices come down and then it's come back up on this retracement, it has failed to break the structure point of that previous high. So then we get a confirmation of a lower high, okay? And then as we come down, we've got what you would call a lower low, okay? And then again, the retracement back up, a lower high, and then you've got the continuation of the price down, okay? So this is an up cycle. So this here is an uptrend. So you've got your lower highs, your higher lows, sorry, you will have your higher lows bouncing off here. So this then becomes a trend line to the upside. And as you get the reversal down, and creating these lower highs to lower lows, lower highs to lower lows, you can then see we have a trend line. But we'll talk more on the trend lines in another video, okay? So I'm trying to keep this as simple as possible. Just make this a little bit bigger. I hope that is sort of giving you a description on what a breaker structure is. I don't want to go too visual with it. There's a bit more in depth on what they are and what they mean and how we can work with these inside of the intermediate section, okay? So to not throw too much at you, just a recap. We'll do a quick recap. So we're not throwing too much at you, okay? Get the eraser out. We'll just do a quick brief recap just to end it off, and then hopefully if you have questions, just drop them in inside of the beginners chat area. So as we move up, okay, we start from a low, okay, and we move up, we've got a high, okay, so low, high, we get a pullback, and then we are waiting for one of two things, okay? You've now got a range of price between the low and the high, okay? This can stay inside of here as much as it wants, okay? Until it breaks either the high of this or the low, okay? So that is a price range. So in this instance, we are going to look at the uptrend. So price comes up, it then surpasses this area, creates that higher high, okay? And that's a confirmed break of structure, pardon the writing, okay? And then again, as we move up and move down, we've then got the range working from this area to this area. And again, it can do what it wants inside of it. It's not until on the uptrend, if it surpasses that, it then breaks the structure of this higher high, creating a new higher high, okay? That then becomes the uptrend. If you were working from a high point, okay, and you come down to a lower point, okay, this will be the downtrend. You get the pullback. You've then got your range from your high to your low. Again, this could do whatever it wants. It's still working within a range. It comes down, it breaks structure of that lower price, okay? This then becomes a lower low. This might work its way back up here. This creates a lower high because it's not broken structure. It's still within this range from the consolidated area, okay? And then it works its way back down. If it was to break here, it's breaking the lower structure. So then you start getting another lower low. And then this then becomes a confirmed downtrend, okay? I hope that makes sense. Like I say, I'm trying to keep this not too visual and not too over sort of powering with loads of candles and other things in your face. Just graphical line movement on the line chart. I do hope it comes across as understandable. If you feel like you still need that little bit more attention and you want a little bit more help, please let me know. I will genuinely help as many people as I can in a timely manner, okay? And we'll take it from there, okay? So we'll be doing a few of these videos on the whiteboard with regards to things like the basics of the breaker structure, a trend line, and a couple of other things, okay? So please drop your emojis if you've understood this video. If you do need that little bit extra help, please drop your comments in the beginners chat area and then reach out to me. I will get back to you as soon as I possibly can. Okay, guys, thank you very much.